Morning conversations about things of interest to you. If you'd like to be a guest on Coffee Talk, just email us your information at wpkyonline@gmail.com. We're proud to call Caldwell County home. WPKY.
1580 103.3 WPKY. That's pretty bad when I have to push a button and I start talking without pushing the button. And it's my job to push the button, Ty.
Sometimes I push the buttons.
Well, sometimes you
I'm a button pusher. That's what I do.
But you're way over there on the other side of the room today.
I like to step back here so that you can push the buttons.
Oh, I like to push the buttons.
Yeah.
Well, unless I don't, and then I just start. I got lazy, is what it is.
Push the buttons, Tess.
I know. I'm a button pusher. I can't help it. Been that way since I was a kid. That's what my mom tells me all the time. I'm really good at pushing her buttons. Hey, we've got some, speaking of kids, we've got some fantastic kids, and I know we're always telling you that, but I will say that I was especially proud of the Caldwell County 4-H teams this year and the Caldwell County FFA. I mean, they have really gone out of the way and done a lot of great things this year.
Yes, they have.
And, of course, the Caldwell County Extension Office is Miss Rhonda Jewell is here. And, of course, you're also with 4-H as well,
Yes.
right?
She's our agent for 4-H
Yes, I
in
am.
Princeton and Caldwell County.
And these kids, now this was at the state fair that they just, what did you feed them Miracle Grow before you went? What did you do?
I don't know. They just ended up having a really, really good year. I'm very proud of all of them. We had several that placed in the I guess you could say the exhibits, blue ribbons, red ribbons. We also had Emily Sherrill, who got a grand champion in photography in her category. Very, very proud of her. And that picture was actually taken with the cell phone. And that just goes to show you that it doesn't matter if you've got a cell phone or a huge Canon digital camera. You can still take good quality pictures with the cell phone that you have. So
I think that's neat because that really opens it up to everybody,
it does.
right?
It does.
gotta
And
have a good eye.
we've got a lot more opportunities coming up this year. So I'm really excited about photography and some of the different areas that we're branching into. So
That is fantastic. And, of course, we have Morgan Witherspoon with you today.
we do.
Yep.
But also
What
I
do you
want to
got?
mention those livestock kids that
Yeah,
did
do
an
it.
excellent job. The Cotton Boys, Evan and Eli.
Oh, yeah.
Evan was grand champion with one of his pigs. I can't remember which one. And his brother was reserve champion in both of them in each class. And it's just, I'm very proud of those boys. I'm very proud of all of our livestock kids.
I'm proud of Jeff that
I
he
am
got through.
Yeah.
I'm going
am
to give
too.
that daddy a little bit of a pat on the back on that one, Mr.
Exactly, yeah, because they've all worked hard.
Yes.
We've also got Daniel Laurent and Katie Trimble that also showed. And again, just, it takes a lot of work all year long, and it takes a lot of dedication. They do have to miss some days of school, and then they've got all that stuff to make up. They're excellent students, and it's just a
I will
wonderful
bring that
opportunity.
up too, because Daniel, I know, is an athlete. He plays on a lot of different teams. I also know that they compete for Caldwell through academic
academic
competitions and that sort of thing, the academic team. And, all of you guys, not only are these kids excelling at the state level with agriculture and livestock judging and all of the things that they're doing that she's telling you about, these kids are just excelling all the way around.
Exactly.
And I think that has a lot to do with the 4-H programs and growing up in that kind of stuff and learning how to organize your time and, and do all of the things you want to do and do them well.
And be responsible
Right.
for.
So a good
School.
job. Trimble, I'm telling you,
But the parents
all
deserve a
of
pat
them.
on the back. so.
Yes. Because I don't know how they do it. I really don't.
Yeah.
Mine isn't in half of what some of these kids are, and they just excel like crazy. And so kudos to all of you because I know how hard you work, Morgan.
And you all have a great, of course, Kevin, Laurent, as far as your livestock.
And Candy Adams.
And Candy Adams, they really have taken that and for years now and really have brought that program.
They have.
And made you all very competitive with that.
They have.
That
As
takes
a matter
a
of
lot
fact,
hard
they
work
really
for them.
helped the state FFA team. So
Yeah.
all
So
of those
congratulations.
kids. Yes. Thank you. They deserve it. Okay. Now we got Morgan here for shooting sports, and we're going to kind of switch gears to head to our state contest this weekend. And Morgan has been a shooter since she was in the 4th grade, so she's been shooting for quite some time. She's participated in the state contest how many years?
This is my 6th year.
Okay, so she's not a newbie, but she is definitely very dedicated and very hardworking, and has placed in the top 3 in the state several times in several different disciplines. So
What do you shoot?
Good for
Morgan?
you, by the way.
Thank you. This year at state, I'm shooting recurve and bear compounds, but I'm also shooting shotgun. This is only my second year shooting that, though.
So for those that don't know about bear compound and those that's a bow.
Yes, and with no sights, so I don't have any advantage there.
It's all open.
I have no help there.
Wow. And so you've been doing the bow a little bit longer than the shotgun then?
Yes.
Which do you prefer? Which do you like? You like them both the same, or?
I definitely like archery more,
Right.
but I'm getting better at trap. It's getting there.
Right.
Did the movies, when they come out, did that help a little bit to get you interested in archery, or is that just something that you've always been?
I've always liked it.
Because I know it got popular there
Yeah,
for a while
it
with some
did.
of those movies coming out. I know. I have teens in my house, but, I wondered, if that's what it was or if that's just something that's always kind of spoke to you.
I shot with my brother some when I was little, and me and my dad's always hunted, and so I've pretty much always just liked it.
I love that.
This year, the state competition, is it at the same place that it's usually held? Where is that
Yes.
location? Because it's a nice facility.
it is very nice. It's the Bluegrass Sportsman's Lodge, and it is in Wilmore, Kentucky. They closed down the range for us that day. I will say that there's over 1,000 kids, probably closer to 1,100 kids that participate in the contest. It is a 2-day contest. The first day they shoot archery and rifle and pistol. The second day is archery, and it's in Berea. You know the name of that location? It's at a
No.
range. It is an awesome shotgun range, but it's in Berea. So some kids participate in both days, and some kids just participate in one or the other. So
Well, I know you don't just wake up one day and say, I think I'll just go compete, right? I mean, so what happened over the last several years that you had to do to get ready for that? So that, if somebody's starting and says, I want to do that, and somebody says, well, I know my kid wants to do that now, how do I get them started? How does that whole thing, how do you start?
Well, I just started off by wanting to join, and so the practices, I really liked my coaches, which was Mindy Morgan and Brian Morgan. They really encouraged me a lot to go compete, and then once I started competing, I started getting trophies every time, and every time I competed, so it was worth it. I mean, once you start getting trophies, you like it, so then you just keep going, and then I realized, hey, I can place at state, and then that kept me going once I got
would
2 state
imagine, yeah.
trophies.
What about shooting? Same thing? I mean, not just the archery, but the other. I mean, is it both the same? I mean, is that how you kind of just started?
Yeah, once you start getting better, you just get proud of yourself that I can improve if I practice more, and then it's fun, and you just stick with it.
And of course, your
and
range.
discipline.
And
Yes.
of course, you guys still practice out at the range on Dawson Road. And of course, that is the Caldwell County Sportsman's Club that,
Yes.
allow use of the range.
Yes.
And I know that is a nice facility for these kids to go out and shoot trap. And I know you all work hard. You have cleanup days out there,
I do.
and it's a really a community thing. And of course, the wonderful thing I think about shooting sports is you all make sure that these kids properly are trained on
Right.
the firearms. You have
Right.
wonderful instructors. I know you mentioned Brian and Mindy. Been around a long time and have given their heart and soul to that program.
They have.
Who are some of the other folks involved in shooting sports? I know Harold Baker used to be.
He is still involved. John Ernest also
John,
is
yep.
from the original pack,
Yep.
and he still is at practice as much as he can be. Ricky Tosh also is one of those. There are several, let's see, Ronnie Witherspoon, Annetta Witherspoon. Help me out, Morgan.
Stephanie Hallam.
Yes,
Yeah, I know the
Stephanie.
Hallams were involved.
And you caught
And
me
then
off
Matt's a
guard.
coach.
Yes, Matt Hallam, Riley Baker, and Morgan is also a youth, a teen coach. And
Good
as soon
for
as she
you.
turns
Thank
18,
you.
she'll turn into an adult coach.
I
So,
love to see
anyway.
these girls do this kind
Yes,
of thing.
I do
You know,
too.
I don't.
And
You're
we
not
have a lot of
sitting
girls.
back and being a wallflower. You're like, hey, wait a minute, I can do that too.
I would say
And I love that.
we're down to right now as many girls as we have boys, don't we?
Just about it.
With-
More girls than we've ever had.
Yes, yeah. So
So tell the truth. Do you guys beat the boys? I mean, just-
A lot of times we do.
we're thinking it anyway, but so we're gonna ask it. You know.
we have several that have been going to contest. Close around contests like McCracken County and Todd County for different things, whether it be for archery or for trap or shotgun. Avery and Addison Thompson. They're new. This is their first year, but they've gotten really involved. Also, Denver Francis, and Missy Bogle. Hannah Bogle. Missy Bogle is also another one of our coaches. And so those are some of the girls that we've got that have they've really grown into a really good, strong group. So
well, bless their hearts. And I don't want to downplay the guys because they work really
hard
too.
They do.
That takes so much practice, and it's one of those things that's repetitive too. I mean, you've really got to like what you're doing because it's not like it's changing up a whole lot. it's very repetitive, and it takes hours upon hours upon hours. How many times have you burned your arm?
Well, I only did that my first year. After
Really?
that, you train yourself not to.
Yeah. You learn pretty quick. I did, when you get anybody that shot a bow has had that burn on their arm right there.
Yep.
You either learn to stop doing that or you get a little thing to put over your arm, right?
Yep.
A little guard.
And the season runs September to March, something like that?
It runs, actually, we start in March. There's 2 day safety, 2 night safety training that all the shooters and a parent have to attend. And this is just basically to get them prepared. Because safety is definitely first and foremost. And then also the second night is to give them an opportunity to see what are some of the opportunities, what are the possibilities that they could participate in. And some just, start during the middle of the year. They'll say, okay, they've done archery, but I want to try a shotgun. And they have that opportunity. They don't have to stick with one thing. They can switch up. And then they practice on Tuesdays, April typically through September, which is the season. And then there are local contests around that kids can participate in just to try. There's some that don't go to state, but they participate in as many contests as they can, so they still compete. There's some that don't even compete, and that's okay. They're just doing it for one thing. It teaches them responsibility. It teaches them also gun safety, as well as it helps them become a better shooter, and they enjoy it. They don't necessarily either want to or have the opportunity to compete, though. And we do have 2 kids, I have to say, Jace Lowry and Drake
Reynolds.
I'm having a hard time with names this morning.
It's Wednesday,
I am
Rhonda. I'm telling you, it's a Wednesday thing.
But I messed up from the holiday. Really messed me up.
I bet it did.
But anyway, they are also going to be going to the state contest along with Briley Baker. And it's a good thing you're here this morning. They're going to be also going to the contest. I will have to say, Drake shoots all over. You probably heard he goes to contests all over the place, as well as and does an extremely good job. So he definitely, I don't know of a kid who has put in more time, more effort, and more energy and dedication than he, as well as his parents, into shooting sports. And then we've got Jace, who's coming up. Jace actually got first last year, his first time to shoot in the state contest. He wasn't even planning on, he was just going for fun, just to kind of see what it was like, because it was his first time and he received first place. So
I love that.
Anyway, yeah, I do too. Well, he doesn't smile very much, but he got a big smile that day.
I bet he did.
And then Briley, he's fixing to age out. This is his last year. He's shot every year since I can remember. He's been in the contest, and he's been also involved in shooting sports for quite some time. But anyway, again, proud of all our guys.
So,
girls.
Is there anything that, let's say I want to get signed up. What do I do? Or I want to sign my kid up. Tell me what I do.
In the spring, and I will have information in my newsletter. There will be something in the newspaper. We'll also be talking about it on the radio. But in the spring, in March, is when they really need to listen up, because if they don't attend the 2-day trainings, they can't participate, so they're just going to miss out for the year. Okay. They do have to be 9 by January 1st, which is typical 4-H age. So a lot of third graders, and I promote it with 3rd, 4th, and 5th, but a lot of third graders aren't going to be able to participate until the following year, and that's just state rules. But just listen up. If anybody is interested and wants to know what are some of the activities that are coming up that they may not hear on the radio or see in the newspaper, also Facebook. I utilize Facebook probably as much as anything. They can call and get on our newsletter mailing list, and that way they'll get that information a little bit ahead of time. A lot of times we have things that fill up very, very quickly, and being ahead of the game sometimes pays off. So.
What have you got going on? Have you
well,
got anything going on at all?
I do. As a
I
matter
had a
of fact,
feeling maybe.
last night I posted on Facebook our craft club. It is starting on the 18th, and I posted it, and 5 minutes later I was at the office at 7:30. Somebody called and wanted to sign up.
I've heard about this. I really enjoy. I've
It's
heard a
very-
couple of teenagers. I'm
Yeah.
around that crowd a lot. But I've heard a couple of teenagers that really are singing a song about that. So
They
good
love
job to
they love
you.
craft club, and we also have some teens that help. Rebecca Hendon is our leader for the club, and she's done it for several years and does a great job, and the kids just love her and they love the crafts that they make. And a lot of these crafts are exhibits or projects that they can send to the state fair. So we've got that coming up. The deadline to register is Friday the 13th. I would not wait until then because there's only 12 spots. So if they're interested, get an application and get it filled out. I also posted it on Facebook. If they want to get it off there, they can do so. They can either bring it in or fax it in or somehow put it in our mail drop box, get it to us somehow, some way. We've also got our Teen Leadership Academy coming up. This is an opportunity for middle school kids. It's a leadership opportunity. There are 4 that are chosen from Caldwell, Livingston, Lyon, and Trigg counties. We get together once a month. They have an opportunity to learn about what goes on in the county. They get an opportunity to learn about what are some of the things that each county has to offer as far as like tourism or agriculture or manufacturing or whatever. And it just gives kids a good chance to kind of see what's around them, learn what are some. We also focus on career readiness. Morgan was a part of TLA back whenever she was in middle school, and she's sitting there shaking her head because she knows what a wonderful program it is. And we'll be promoting that. The deadline to apply is September the 18th, and applications are available at the middle school or at the Caldwell County Extension Office, or it will be on Facebook as soon as I get it up there, and I will try to get it put on our website also. So that's coming up. We've also got Shooting Sports also has a fundraising opportunity coming up. It is a very expensive project that our kids do, and we try to help them as much as we can. And so we are trying to gather some funds, raise some funds for them. So we're going to have a country ham breakfast. It is by donation only. It doesn't cost. Just come on out. It's the September the 14th. It'll be from 7 to 10:30 at the Extension Office. Country ham, cured by a 4-H'er, I might say. Country ham will be offered, as well as pancakes, biscuits and gravy, sausage, and scrambled eggs. So come on out on the 14th. You get breakfast this Saturday for Black Patch, and also they are having the Black Patch pancake breakfast.
Pancake breakfast.
Okay,
Yes.
I thought so. And also, so the next week, come on out and have some breakfast with us. We are accepting donations, so come on out and have a chance to meet some of our shooters and learn about some of the different things that they do. We also have Forestry Field Day coming up. This is held at LBL, and this is on September the 13th. It is a Friday the 13th, but it's an opportunity for kids to learn about forestry, if they love to be outdoors, if they like to hunt, if they just want to learn about forestry, if they're interested in trees or nature or wildlife. It's a wonderful opportunity. There will be transportation provided for a certain number. It costs $3, and that's basically for the lunch. And if anybody is interested, they can contact the Extension Office, and we will get them signed up. I am taking a van load, and then I may have to have help with transportation if I have any more than that. But if anybody has any questions, please just give me a call at the Extension Office. And then we also have our Poultry Club.
Oh.
They have met, but it was just for last year's members. We're accepting new members. I'm going to be promoting that in just a few days to the elementary school. Poultry Club meets once a month. They typically meet on the 4th Monday of the month, and this is focused on chickens and rabbits. We have a great group of kids. Chelsea Hopper is the leader, and she loves chickens, rabbits, any type of little animals. And she is so enthusiastic and so knowledgeable. Even Addie, her daughter, is absolutely.
I love that.
Yeah,
I was always
highly
pictured myself as a
competitive.
chicken man. I tell you,
Yeah.
I think that'd be a great club.
Well, it's highly competitive, though.
Yeah.
It really
It
is.
is. It really-
You'd be
oh, yeah.
surprised.
Yeah.
These
Yeah.
kids, I mean, they can really go really far
There is a poultry
in the poultry
contest. Yeah, there's a poultry contest at the state fair, and they're probably one of the most competitive groups, which is pretty amazing. But we've got some kids that also focus on rabbits, study rabbits. So if anybody's interested in these little animals and they're in 3rd through 5th grade, we do keep it to the lower grades, and we do keep a lower number. But if anybody's interested, again, when that comes out, they can register for it. It doesn't cost anything. It's just
That's a great way to introduce some of the younger kids into the animals and that sort of thing.
It is, and it's an easy project to do. I say easy. It's probably not as easy as
easy might be the wrong word, but
yes, you're right.
It's easier than some of the bigger livestock.
Yeah, than pigs or cattle, it would be. I do have to mention too. I am very sorry. I left Abby Gill. She showed cattle at the state fair. She didn't necessarily show in the 4-H shows, but she showed the open. She's hopefully going to get to do 4-H next year. She showed in the geldie division, and also was reserve champion. And her brother Brian, who graduated last year, showing also in the open, he received, I can't remember if it was champion or reserve champion too, but they both did exceedingly well. So
congratulations
proud of
to them. Yeah.
Yep.
It sounds like it was a wonderful year for Caldwell County 4-H'ers at the state fair. And of course, obviously with shooting sports, Morgan Witherspoon, good luck to you and to the entire team at state. And Rhonda, that calendar is full as always. We can't thank you enough for keeping us informed. And of course, you can call the extension office if you have any questions about anything you heard, 365-2787. Check out the 4-H Facebook page. It's updated quite a bit.
Yep.
And of course, get on there and sign up for the 4-H newsletter as well. But any questions, again, our 4-H agent for Caldwell County is Rhonda Jewell, 365-2787. Appreciate what you do for us and our kids and all the volunteers for 4-H. So thank you all.
And by the way, we're proud of you.
Yeah,
we are.
Thank you.
We'll just say that ahead of time like 12 times. We are so proud of you because that takes a lot of dedication, a lot of time, a lot of hours, and kudos to Mom and Dad.
Yes, exactly. The parents, again, for getting them there and volunteering their time. If it weren't for the volunteers, it wouldn't happen. So,
what number can the volunteers call you again when they want to volunteer?
270-365-2787.
Well, thanks so much. It's Tess and Ty. Stick around. I see a Bob out there in the waiting room, a Bob Hayes sitting out there. Hey, he's going to come in and talk to us here in just a second on Coffee Talk. It's 8:30 with Tess and Ty and 1580 103.3 WPKY.
Napa know-how. Now at Napa Auto Parts stores and Napa Auto Care centers, get a $20 prepaid Visa gift card when you buy oil, air, and cabin air filters. Because let's be honest, you probably don't remember the last time you changed them. So buy all 3 filters at your local Napa and get $20 back. Do it yourself or have it done for you. That's Napa know-how. Napa know-how. At participating Napa Auto Parts stores and Napa Auto Care centers. Limit 2 prepaid cards per household while supplies last. Offer ends 10/31/19.
How easy is it to find the best new hires with Glassdoor? Yeah, kind of like that. Post your job, and just like that, it's available to over 67 million job seekers. And Glassdoor only matches you with qualified applicants, so you can make the best new hire in half the resumes. Plus, Glassdoor hires are 30% more likely to stay with your company longer. Hire better, hire faster. Start your free trial today at glassdoor.com/hire.
Hey guys, Heidi with Capitol Cinemas, your local Princeton movie theater with your weekday lineup. In Cinema 1, Overcomer, 2 hours. Shows Monday at 1, 3:45, and 6:30. And Tuesday through Thursday at 6:30. In Cinema 2, The Art of Racing in the Rain, PG. Shows Monday at 1, 3:45, and 6:30. And Tuesday through Thursday at 6:30. In Cinema 3, The Silent Natural, shows Monday at 1, 3:45, and 6:30, and Tuesday and Wednesday at 6:30. Silent Natural will end Wednesday for the opening of It Chapter 2, rated R, shows Thursday at 6:30. Call during showtime hours at 270-365-0200 or visit us at capitalcinemas.net. Thanks for listening. See you at the show.
Are you struggling to afford healthcare or medications? Let Health First help you. Whether you're insured, uninsured, or underinsured, you will still be cared for at Health First Community Health Center. We offer financial and prescription assistance to all those that qualify, which is based on income and household size. Contact our office for more information at 365-9455 or visit our website. Same-day appointments and walk-ins are always welcome. Located at 1100 South Jefferson Street in Princeton. At Health First, your health is our first concern.
This is Mallory Hancock Lawrence, and we love our Caldwell and Lyon County friends. We invite you to come to Cada's anytime you can to shop with us. We're making it even easier for you. Whether you work in Cada's or just come to town for a visit, stop in and shop with us. But if you're in a hurry, you can pre-order your groceries at HancocksNeighborhoodMarket.com. It's so easy and convenient. Of course, we want to see your smiling face anytime we can, but if you're in a hurry, HancocksNeighborhoodMarket.com is the way to go. Hancock's Neighborhood Market, Cada's.
Need some new fan gear for the big game? Head to the Athletic Center. Need cleats for Junior's new season? Head to the Athletic Center. Kids need a new pair of shoes for school? Head to the Athletic Center. Little Susie need a new bat? Head to the Athletic Center. Have a customized shirt that you need printed in-house? Head to the Athletic Center. Your athlete ready for a Letterman jacket? Head to the Athletic Center. The Athletic Center, 801 Linton Way, Princeton. Oh yeah, they specialize in screen print and embroidery too.
The 2019 Black Patch Heritage Festival, presented by the Princeton Optimist Club, is coming September 7th to historic Princeton. Come enjoy the sights, sounds, and food of the 2019 Black Patch Heritage Festival. Tune in to WPKY 103.3 for live coverage. Brought to you by Rushing Chiropractic, Joyner Hardware, Morgan Funeral Home, Luna Vet, and Clint's Body Shop. The 2019 Black Patch Heritage Festival, September 7th in historic Princeton.
Napa know-how. Now at Napa Auto Parts stores and Napa Auto Care centers. Get a $20 prepaid Visa gift card when you buy oil, air, and cabin air filters. Because let's be honest, you probably don't remember the last time you changed them. So buy all 3 filters at your local Napa and get $20 back. Do it yourself or have it done for you. That's Napa know-how. Napa know-how. At participating Napa Auto Parts stores and Napa Auto Care centers. Limit 2 prepaid cards per household while supplies last. Offer ends 10/31/19.
How easy is it to find the best new hires with Glassdoor? Yeah, kind of like that. Post your job, and just like that, it's available to over 67 million job seekers. And Glassdoor only matches you with qualified applicants, so you can make the best new hire in half the resumes. Plus, Glassdoor hires are 30% more likely to stay with your company longer. Hire better, hire faster. Start your free trial today at glassdoor.com/hire.
Here's your WPKY Weather Edge Weather Center forecast.
Going to be a hot one out there today. Sunny skies, a high near 88. Watch out for those heat index values. Could see about 100 late this afternoon. Clear overnight tonight, a low down to 60. And then for tomorrow, sunshine. A little bit cooler than today, thank goodness. A high near 80. Going to be quite nice for tomorrow night. Low around 60 again. Maybe see some upper 50s. But for Friday, sunshine, a high 87. And for the parade time and kickoff on Friday night, around 80. Saturday looking great for Black Patch. Sunny, a high 85. Again for today, sunshine, a high near 88. Could see 90. And also heat index values about 100. It's currently 76 at WPKY.
The most unique show in history.
What do you think? Do you love it?
Tess and Todd.
The new 90-minute series.
Isn't that wonderful?
1580 103.3 WPKY.
1580 103.3 WPKY. 836 with Tess and Ty, and Bob Hayes is in the building this morning. Hey, it's kind of early for Bob, though, right?
Oh, no, I'm up around 6:30 every morning. I like to read the paper early.
So you just don't sleep? Is that what you're telling me? Because I know you're at the ball at the football field forever.
Being retired, I catch some afternoons where I can get an hour and a half, 2-hour nap in.
I'll tell you, I love him to death. He's actually calling the middle school football games as well this year, so he gets to be tired of me because he gets to see me all the time. You're like, you guys do a fantastic job, by the way.
Thank you. Thank you.
We really do. We've enjoyed on actually listening to the games on Football Friday. Of course, I guess we're just kind of getting in the groove of that. We haven't had that many weeks under our belt, but you guys are doing fantastic on that as well.
I'm just riding the coattails of Dennis Stevens.
No. Good morning, Dennis, by the way. He does a great job, too. So, hey, you've got something else going on this weekend. Of course, we know Black Patch is this weekend, and we're gearing up for it. And you've got something going on this weekend as well, right?
Well, Actually, Tess, we have two things going on. I'm treasurer of the Kiwanis Club, and we've got Saturday morning the pancake breakfast. And I'll talk about that in a few minutes, but the big thing is the Butler Caldwell County Alumni and Friends Association reunion, which is on Saturday of this week, and it always is the Saturday after Labor Day, or Black Patch Saturday as we call it. So that's coming up this Saturday, and being the president of that organization, I have several responsibilities leading up to and including on the day of the event.
I don't see how you do it. Do you have a good secretary?
Well, it's timing. It's just paying attention to detail, and I've always been a detail type person.
No doubt about that. Bob, in the past we've had some wonderful speakers for this event, and it's usually very educational, very informative. And who is going to be our speaker this year for this event?
We're fortunate this year, another Caldwell County graduate who has gone out and done well in her own regard. It's Kentucky Supreme Court Justice Lisa Hughes, who is a 1973 graduate of Caldwell County High School. She is the daughter of Ada Lou Hughes and the late Trice Hughes here in Princeton. So we're fortunate to get her. She's very willing to do this, and we're just can't wait to see what her remarks are.
That'll be great, I think.
Absolutely. We don't have many of those running around Kentucky, especially from Princeton, a Supreme Court justice.
Right. That's one of those things. She ought to have a lot of interesting insights and just how she did and got to where she was.
Well, that's the interesting thing about these speakers that have come back. I really didn't start going to the meeting until I was probably 4 years ago, because on this particular day we have the pancake breakfast, and I was always involved with that, cooking, cleaning up, and member of the Butler Caldwell Alumni for many years, but was asked to step in and help in that organization, and I did, and as soon as I said yes, I was made president. So I've been doing this now. This will be the fourth year I will have served as president, and it's good. We've had great speakers: Phil Van Hooser, Walter Bumpus. Last year, Willard Settle. This year, Lisa Hughes, and we'll do it again next year, hopefully, and probably most likely, Caldwell County grad, and somebody has gone out into the world and done something unique, if you will.
I want to clarify exactly who comes to these? When you say, is it a specific year? That's just not a specific class reunion.
No, it's just the graduates of Butler, the old Butler High School before it became Caldwell County High School, which I think occurred in 55, and also any friends that who were not graduates of either school could join, and we've got several friends in the group. And so this came about in 1993 when the middle school was built in the present location. There was a certain feeling among several people here in the community that that building may lapse into disrepair, not be used for anything, and so spearheaded by a lot of women and men to form this organization and see what we could do to keep that building. And obviously the Board of Education eventually took that building over and used the first floor of that for their offices. And we formed as a group to help them out in any way we could where financially possible. And I'll go into some details here in a minute as to one of the things, how we've spent our money the last 3 or 4 years and that. But so this began in 1993. 1997, a restoration project was started with the auditorium. Everything was in just ill repair in the building at that time, and so we spearheaded the upbringing of the auditorium. And then from that point on, we've done a lot of work on the outside of that building with point tucking and painting inside and those kinds of things, where our monies will allow us that opportunity.
Well, even after it was a high school back in the day, I went to middle school there. So I was one of those that actually attended middle school at Butler.
Exactly. And after the high school was built, the middle school used that building until, I suppose, 1993, which is when the current middle school was built. And early on in the Butler era, I think a lot of kids were there in grade schools in that building, but I'm not aware of that. Sure, I haven't done enough research to know that exists, but I'm pretty sure that occurred.
It's special to many of us. I know even back when I was attending middle school there, but there's something also about our gym there to see games. When I was in high school, we didn't have the cab, and it's still special to walk into the gym there on the Butler campus and just smell inside there. It brings back so many memories. You can remember the old coal rolling out the chimney there on a cold January day. But this is a wonderful. This organization has done so much. That is a historic building downtown, and it's really a centerpiece. So many events are held there, and it's really great that we have the friends there that do this wonderful thing. I know you've got like a sports memorabilia room as well, don't you?
We do have in the upstairs, as you go in from the West Main Street side, going up the stairs, the first room on your left is where I had high school English, but it's now a memorabilia room, the Bird Gould room, named after Doug Bird, who was the 7-year president of the organization, and Connie Gould, who was a longtime secretary. Both those people are deceased now, so that is named in their honor for their length of service to the Alumni Association. And we have a nice setup, nice display up there. So anybody that gets to the reunion early, our timing is at 10 o'clock on Saturday is when I'll start conduction of the meeting. But from 8:30 to 10 o'clock, you can roam around anywhere on that campus, especially the Butler Gym. And as you mentioned, Ty, that is an iconic place. That's where I went to high school and saw a lot of basketball games in there. Played basketball for the first 2 years, but it's raucous in that place.
It is.
And in years past, we didn't this past year. We had a problem with the roof. We've had throwback games in that place, and it gets loud.
I love it because when I was in Little League, we practiced in the basement, and then I played middle school ball over at, of course, the gym, and now all these other kids are getting to grow up and do, basketball still to this day in the gym and then outside on the courts and then soccer out in the field. I love that the Butler is not just sitting there and not being used. I love that that's seeing another generation of kids, and it's because you guys are taking care of that.
Well, and the school board
has to
get a pat on the back. That gymnasium is now used daily as a walking venue. I know that they're looking into putting a new roof on that building. The board is, and as I say, it's a great place to watch a basketball game and close proximity. I've seen some great basketball games in there. Some extremely talented basketball players come through that building.
Oh, I appreciate that, Bob.
No doubt. No, there's no doubt about that.
There was a few school dances back in the day in that building as well.
Just again, you go in there and it's just you can just wave the memories. All of us that have experienced that, just wave the memories out of the way of your face. And of course, you do have a meal during this event, and that's usually in the gymnasium. Has that been moved, or is it still there?
No, that's going to happen again this year. We have, after the meeting is over, which probably lasts from 10 to 11 or thereabouts, then we have a blessing, dismiss those people that want to eat, have paid for their meal, to go to the Butler Gym. And this year the meal, as has been the last couple of years, is catered by No's Barbecue. And you get all the fixings and the barbecue. Great time to not only mingle with some of your old friends, make new ones, and the same thing is true on the early side of 10 o'clock. You can get there at 8:30 and roam around and see who you know, who you can meet, pal up with, so on and so forth. So it's a great morning. At 1 o'clock, normally everything breaks down. People start leaving, and then I get busy again with cleaning up and hauling back tables that we've borrowed from here and here, there, yonder. So, but it's a great day. Starting out early, and I probably will take a nap that Saturday afternoon.
I tell him all the time he just needs to take a nap. He needs more naps. This man is gone constantly. But I mean, you've also got other things going on that day too.
Well, obviously Black Patch and all of that is happening, and I usually go home and probably nap, cool off, if you will, take a shower because I'm sweaty by then. And then we generally go back in town for 30 minutes to an hour. And then usually this year, I'm fortunate, the UK football game is not until early evening.
So
there
you go.
I can get my sandwich. Pat loves to go uptown to eat wherever she thinks might be an interesting spot to eat.
Good girl. I may follow her around. I do the same thing.
And then I can go home and become addicted to the television.
Well, we know we're going to start the morning off with a good hearty breakfast, don't we? Because the Princeton Kiwanis Club will be in the basement of Ogden Memorial United Methodist Church, and we will be serving up hot cakes, sausage, and juice and milk, and we want to in coffee. We encourage everybody to come down. Of course, Bob's our sausage king.
Well, Joe Gray and I do the sausage. We're there at 5:30 on that Saturday morning, beginning the frying of the sausage, and I don't like to fry it fast and that, so we take our time. And the product that we get is from Hancock's Neighborhood Market in Katie's, sausage prepared specially for us, and it's excellent.
It's fresh cut, and it is delicious.
How many pieces of sausage you figure you fry?
I think we're ordered 350 slices or pieces this year, patties.
We ran a little short last year. We got it all done. We
the
had
last
to go out and
couple
get more.
years we've run short, so we upped it another 25 patties, and it's good.
That's a lot.
So after that's over with, Tess, at 5:30 in the morning, I usually leave there about 7:30, quarter to 8. Go home and take a shower from all that heat and get ready to be back up at the Alumni at 8:30 to start my role as El Presidente, so to speak, and walk around and make sure everything is happening like it should, and then we get that going, and thing starts at 10 o'clock, and by 11 I'm hungry again, so
I bet
it's time for that barbecue.
Yes,
that barbecue lunch.
Time
I don't
for that
know, Bob. I'm
coleslaw and baked beans.
By the time that UK game starts, I'm thinking about 5 minutes in, he's going to be out.
He's in the recliner.
2 hours. Trust me, Tess. The 2 hour nap takes care of that.
Okay.
I will be in the recliner though.
Okay, I don't blame you.
Bob, how do we become a member of the Butler Caldwell Alumni Association?
Well, we have forms out, and generally our secretary is Linda Grandstaff, and if you call Linda, I don't have her number handy. If you're interested, come up that morning and ask around, stop in, attend if you want to, and but we're always interested in people joining the association. We now have 231 members.
Wow.
We had 18 new life members that joined from last year to this year. We also lost 8 due to death. So it's an older organization that you might say we're dying out. So we're looking for younger members and those people that can carry on after us, if you will. And the dues are $15 a year, which obviously I don't think are prohibitive. And if you want to join as a life member, it's $100, and that takes care of your dues for the rest of your life. So one of the other things that we do that's I think very significant here, Tess and Ty, is that when this was organized, Betty Williams had a lot to do with the organization. And at that time in 1993, there was no scholarship given to a female athlete. And so this organization took it upon themselves to do a scholarship for a female athlete, and that has since continued. Seems like all the scholarships at that time were being passed out to males. And so this year, we've and this has been the case the last few years, we present a $1,000 scholarship to a female athlete. Our winner this year is Katie Franklin. Katie is a softball player and now is a softball player at Asbury University in Asbury, Kentucky, up in the Lexington, Kentucky area. So Katie is our winner this year, and that's something that makes us feel good. We're able to help out in that regard with a $1,000 scholarship. The other thing I think is important here, to how we spend our money. Over the past umpteen years, since '93, we have spent out of our own funds over $96,000. In 2016, we repaired the steps going into each side of that building, the West Main Street side and the Washington Street side, and one of those is the boys' entrance and one of those is the girls' entrance. I never can remember which is which, but it's still embedded in the rock or stone above that door. And so we fixed those. Those steps were in severe deterioration. We got those fixed, so that was in 16. In 17, we took on a huge project, had some a little grant assist us on that in the repair and upkeep of those 4 columns on the front of the building. They were becoming in disrepair. Had been there.
Those are iconic,
yes,
too.
Since the 20s. Not only did we repair and recoat them, but we also cleaned them before all that. And then where they reached the top of the building, that's called a porch ceiling. So we cleaned that and refurbished that. And those columns look. A company out of Louisville that works on restoration products and these kinds of things, and we were quite pleased with their work on that. And then last year we spent some tuck pointing work on the outside of the Butler building, and then we added LED lights all over the auditorium and in our alumni room upstairs. So this year we kind of took it easy a little bit. In that upstairs room, that hallway, it was sort of bleak and dark looking. We got some more LED lights up there to illuminate the hallway. We also painted the walls to lighter color, so it would be, we have an elevator in that building. Elevator's at the opposite end on the Washington Street side. So people coming up now can readily see going down that hall. It was dark. Now it's really lit now nicely, and so we're hoping a lot of people will make their way up to the alumni room that day, either by going up the steps on the Washington Street side or the elevator, whichever is their preference.
Well, I'll tell you what, Ty, there was a lot of days back in the day when I could have used an elevator going up and down those stairs. How about you?
No doubt about it, but obviously, Bob, money well spent on a beautiful historic building by a wonderful organization. And tell us a little bit before we get out of here this morning. You all were also instrumental in the bench and the kind of the little placement out front there in front of those columns. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, those were done earlier,
right?
And as a fundraiser type project. And the other thing I want to allude to, I'm glad you brought that up, Ty. At 12 o'clock this Saturday is a tribute to Anthony Allo out at that particular bench, and where he's honored with his plaque in concrete. And that's something that will be done by Danny Patterson and some of his friends in that regard. Mr. Allo passed away not too long ago in Florida and was really instrumental in our tremendous band program here. He followed suit with K.V. Bryant, who was an outstanding band director. We were known for our bands throughout the 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s. Our band program is definitely on the upswing now, and so they're going to do something to honor Mr. Allo's memory on Saturday at 12 o'clock outside in that area just by the flagpole.
I think that's fantastic. I really do.
Wonderful tribute. Again, lots of folks participating and making their mark in this organization for the Butler Caldwell County reunion. It always is a nice event, Bob, and you all do a fantastic job. You as president and your board or committee there putting on a wonderful event for all the alumni to come back home to and really enjoy a nice day of fellowship and a good meal. And of course, with Lisa coming in to do the to do the speaking. I'm sure it'll be a fabulous program on Saturday.
Well, it is. It really is. And we also have our superintendent say a few words about the system at large, if you will, and what lurks, if you will, ahead of us from a building standpoint, that sort of thing. So it's a real interesting day. We gather at 8:30 to 9:45. Those that want to come early can get coffee and donuts in the Butler gym, walk around, meet friends, go on from there, get ready for the 10 o'clock to 11 o'clock meeting, and then we adjourn for dinner. So that's what we'll be doing Saturday morning.
Well, I'll wave at you on your way by, Bob. I'll tell you. We've got a busy week this week, and again, thank you for all that you do.
Thank
really
you.
and truly. You
It's
serve
my
our
pleasure.
community in a lot of ways, and we sure do appreciate you.
I enjoy being active. I enjoy being useful, hopefully useful. And
You said something earlier, and I can't remember if we were on the air or not, but I thought it was great. I said, I don't know how you do it. And you said your mom had a saying.
Well, but Mom said, if you have a chance to be a servant, be a servant.
I love that. I really do. If that's your motto and that's what gets you up and gets you going, hey, that's wonderful.
No doubt about it. And don't forget, of course, Bob, a longtime Kiwanian, and the Kiwanis Pancake Breakfast, and that we will be in the basement of Ogden Memorial United Methodist Church to get a hearty breakfast started off for our Black Patch Saturday as well. Several Kiwanis members have tickets, but you're welcome just to show up and pay at the door Saturday morning down at Ogden Memorial United Methodist Church. Thank you, Bob, for what you do.
Hey, you saved me a piece of sausage, okay?
Well, I'll be gone by the time that fight starts, Tess. So
I don't trust Todd.
You better get down there early.
Hey, also tomorrow we've got a ball game tomorrow, Caldwell County Middle School, right?
We have a middle school game commencing at 5:30. 8th grade plays first, 7th grade next, and I'll be out there doing my thing, so to speak.
I love him. I get to see him all the time. We sure do appreciate
And Bob
him.
and Dennis on the call Friday night
That's
from the
right.
Stadium of Champions with the Caldwell County Tigers visiting Hopkinsville, which ought to be an excellent game Friday night. So be sure you catch that out. The pregame begins at 5:30, kickoff at 7 o'clock. So
correct.
We'll see
and
you
then
then.
you've got Saturday quarterback, right?
And Saturday morning. No, Dennis will have it this week because I'm obligated fully
that's
this
true.
coming Saturday. So
I
Dennis,
thought, boy, how are we going to do that?
Dennis will pinch hit this coming Saturday.
All right. Well, hey,
Thank you, Bob.
Anyway, we sure do appreciate it. It's Tess and Ty and Coffee Talk. Of course, this week is busy for everybody, and that's just a few more of the things. My mom and dad are looking forward to their alumni. And I think everybody in the community is kind of connected to the Butler building in one way or the other. And it's still that way. And I love that even more kids are going to be connected in the future that way as well. So, Ty, we got sunshine today, right?
Sunshine, high pushing 90. Heat index values could see 100 late this afternoon. So stay hydrated and be careful if you're out there working outside. But beautiful sunny day, and that should last all the way through early to mid next week. So beautiful weekend as well.
I don't think you get much better than that. So stay hydrated, and we'll see you. Of course, Audrey Lamb is going to be right around the corner with your full newscast. We're going to have your full weather forecast here in just a few seconds. Ty will have that. And then actually coming up, Todd with your sports. But first, let's check in with Fox News. It's Tess and Ty in 1580, 103.3 WPKY.